our thoughts are so rampant and so random and so unrelenting that they obscure our true nature. So it's like we're in this physical body with this job to do. And it sounds so strange. So one of the things that can help us realize who and what we really are is something that every fiber of our being seems to resist, and that's meditation. It's really one of the best things a person can do, and one of the most challenging things to work into your life. At least at first, until it becomes more habit. Or over time, it becomes something you can look forward to. That's why I encourage comfort. Make sure you're feeling okay when you're sitting so that you don't dread the experience every time you do it. Yeah, it is a balancing act between, thoughts blurring with dreams and getting tired and then being awake again and feeling out of sync, right? It's like, if you remember what it was like riding a bicycle. I remember I had a bicycle with training wheels for quite some time. And then one day, my father just took an entire Saturday afternoon and he helped me learn how to ride a two-wheel bike without the training wheels. He took them off. And it just took hours and hours and hours. And there was something just seemed to click where I stopped worrying so much about the technique of it and thinking to death about it. And then I was able to just do it. And I got it. I can relate to an experience like that, whether it's learning to ride a bike or anything else. I sometimes think, even a caterpillar, if they consider what they were really doing and how many feet were involved, if they were walking from here to there, they would probably just fall over. But they don't think so much, they just do it, right? It's naturally. Sometimes the more we think about something, the stranger it becomes and the more separate from us it becomes. And then all of a sudden we stumble. I've even done this with certain words, like I've spelled it a million times, but when I look at it, all of a sudden it looks funny. I'm like, no, I can't be the way you spell it. Is that the way you spell it? But I'm sure that is. But I'm just thinking it to death, and all of a sudden it looks strange, instead of just spelling it. I guess essentially what we want to do is stop distinguishing between inner and outer. So I can understand how it is if you are kind of tired and you're looking at one spot. Sometimes we're just tired, so of course you're going to want to close your eyes. And that's not bad, it's not wrong. And there are practices where some people will meditate the whole time with their eyes closed. And that's not bad. What I teach, in most Mahayana traditions, we teach sitting with your eyes halfway open because the point is to wake up to things as they are. The point is to be awake in our everyday lives, and we have to function with our eyes open and see. So if we can do that without having to close our eyes and retreat into ourselves and close the world off, it's preferable. But again, it's not wrong. You experiment with taking your glasses off when you're sitting. It's not so important that things be in complete focus when we're sitting. It's just more or less picking a spot. So we're not really staring. We're just placing our eyes, resting them gently somewhere. That's all. That can be it. It's close to the glasses. But I'm still what's great about iPads, like all my notes, I get to have them really large. And I can read all my books now. I have like huge fonts, it's crazy. So I'm putting off glasses as much as possible. I think, did you have a question?
I was just wondering what the clapper is.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I just got this from China. It took only a month and a half. In the tradition I ordained with, and Sergio was also a student of, it's a Zen tradition, it's a Korean Zen tradition, and we typically use a clapper at the beginning and the end versus the bell. So often you see me use this bell, which I still will sometimes. But in our lineage we use the clapper. It's just an old tradition.
And is the intention that the effect kind of...
It's more jarring than this, right?
Yeah.
That's a little nicer than this. That's what's funny about Zen, it's a little sharper, it's a little more direct. So a lot of the aesthetics of Zen, and even the sounds, they're a little sound harsher, but the effect is very it's good, it's supposed to open your heart.
It's very Puritan.
Very Puritan, you think?
Getting whacked on the head during the sermon.
Right. Anyway, the image of the Zen master hitting someone over the stick to get the answer wrong, or So it looks very hardcore, and it seems heartless, but it's actually meant to really open your heart. So it looks a lot colder than some Tibetan traditions, but it's actually not so cold. Even like this gray color, it's colder. First, I didn't like it at first. I couldn't stand the robes. So I thought I wanted like a cool Japanese style black robe. Because I was wearing black. But that's not my preference. I have to practice wearing the color I don't like.
What came up for me is that my mind was pretty calm before I came here. When I got here, I still felt calm, but the thoughts seemed like a newscast, unrelated to anything. So I'm thinking, well, maybe the thoughts are just part of it. The mind may be something bigger than just the linear thought or whatever it is.
You're on something. So maybe the mind is bigger than the thoughts themselves? You mean?
Yeah, because the thoughts, I was listening, some of them were very negative. When is he going to do that thing already? I'm tired. But there was things about just meeting people, just things that didn't make any sense.
It's random.
But I'm just thinking about it because this morning I had some insight about things and I was letting go and I felt incredibly calm. I was sitting in the park and it's almost like that part of the mind that needs to be, I think, active, the thought part, is just, it doesn't like this. I'm not comfortable with this calmness. So it's acting out.
It starts acting like a child who's being ignored. Just like it now. But over time, it learns to quiet down. It simmers down over time.